Yes, it's 9 o'clock. Yes, I can tell time. Yes, we had to move it back an hour because of Michael and his time zone in Alaska now. So here we are. Anyway, ooh, excuse me. So we're having a little technical difficulty on Michael's side, but I think he's about got it worked out. Um, anyway, so welcome to the All Over Overland show tonight, hosted by Michael Hayden, who I am not. I am much better looking than he is. um, but he will be here in just a minute. So again, want to say thanks to our sponsors, Chad from Overland Addict. As a matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, Chad has a special on Darchie 270 awnings. I think it's the Eclipse, maybe. Let me see here. Yeah, the 270 Eclipse. While they last, they're $9.99, and if I'm not mistaken, they're about $14.99 normally. So it's a really good deal. But that's what he has in stock, and until they're gone. So get them while you can. Overlandaddict.com and give him a shout. He's a super nice guy. By the way, Chad, I noticed today, has 233 5-star Google reviews. How freaking awesome is that? So, Chad, I know you've worked hard, buddy, and you deserve every one of those 5-star ratings, man, because you're in it to win it. So, anyway, give Chad give him a call or hit him up on the web at overlandaddict.com. So, and get those Darchies while they're still in stock. Also to Midland USA, we love our Midland radios and Midland Communications. By the way, Midland does have their new Midland repeater. It's back in stock. I noticed that a couple of days ago. So that's back in stock. It's been out for a while. This is a heck of a piece of gear. So if you don't have one, I mean, it's not for everybody. Let me say that. But if you're out in the, out in the forest or area, wherever, and you're not near a repeater and you want to have a repeater, Midland now has one, and it's fantastic. It's really compact in size, so much so with a little, work, it's portable. So anyway, thanks to them. Rugged Bound, we appreciate Theo and Rugged Bound and all of our sponsors. So thank you very, very much. Tonight's guest, we'll bring him on here shortly. I'm going to bring Michael in here in just a second. I'm waiting on him to get all of his stuff done, and then we'll bring in our guest tonight. And it's it's kind of funny. He's up there in that Canadian land, up not too far from Michael. So he and Michael have been talking, and it sounds like he got a really cool product. So first thing we're going to do is get old Michael in here. I think he's ready.
Man, that took a little bit of time, and I'm sure there's probably an echo in here, and I'm sorry. And the mic, the headphone jack just got all crazy.
Well, I was trying to give you time to make sure you had everything situated.
Well, I've got it as good as I'm going to have it for the show. So, yeah, and I hope there's no confusion on our guests. I was running late. I kind of was in a panic. I sent him a message. Hey, look, we're having just a little bit of computer issue, but I sent you, if you're out there listening, I sent you the invite on.
He's waiting.
Oh, he's in the thing. I can't, yeah. I'm on my phone now. I can't see who's in the green room.
Oh yeah. There's some guy. He's got a gun. He's got a gun and a sign that says, "I'm going to kick your fucking ass, Michael."
Well, very good, because
I'm teasing.
That's weird. I don't like this.
I know.
I'm gonna have to get my computer. Well, just a new set of headphones. That's how I think is
The other problem is that your phone picks up my voice and it mutes you.
Oh, is that the issue we had the other day?
Yeah. So do you have headphones? I mean, earpods? No.
I mean, I do.
Okay. Anyway, hey, look, here's what I'm gonna do. Since we're set up kind of this way, I'm probably gonna just kind of go into the background and hang out for a bit, let you do your thing.
Got me all concerned about what do I need to do?
Well, I mean, unless you got headphones to hear through so that your phone doesn't pick up the voices, we're not gonna do anything. So anyway.
Well, here, keep talking. Let me run up and get my earpods, see if that'll help.
You want to introduce our guest first, and I'll bring him in?
Well, let me run up and get him. Why don't you just talk?
Jesus. Okay, so I'll talk. I'll talk. I mean, the poor guy's gonna sit there and drink himself stupid to death, waiting on you to get your shit together. See what I deal with, folks. This is what I'm talking about. Hey, I'm gonna bring our guest in here, and we're gonna have a slam fest on Michael. Here we go. Ready? I don't even know this guy, but I'm gonna bring him in anyway. You're live. He's not even ready.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. At least you can hear me, I hope. Maybe.
You can hear me. Okay, that's good. I can't hear you yet. I might be having technical difficulties.
Oh, no, I can hear you. Here we go. It's going to be a night of Maybe it's all you guys up north of the border.
Where are you?
Who knows? Anyway, so it's going to be a fun show tonight. Anyhow, Michael will be back in a minute. He's getting his headphones.
Clearly, we're all professionals here.
Oh, yeah, we are. We're definitely all professionals. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we got you. Poor Michael. He, anyway. All right. So do me a favor. Tell me your name.
Do you like that?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. My name's Dave. David Dion. I was going to,
David Dion. All right. So guess what? For those of you listening who aren't watching, we have David Dion, right? David.
Yeah.
Okay. And he says blind man to overland, but tell me the story behind that now.
Yeah. So Blind Man Overland is the company that manufactures the Yuccapacamper. And we manufacture that right up here in the Great White North in Central Alberta, Canada. And currently, we were the first to market adventure camper of this style in the country. That's kind of our claim to fame, so to speak.
Sweet. Michael, can you hear us, buddy?
Hear me?
There's a delay, so there's no sound, and then all I heard was me. Poor guy. Anyway, so we're glad to have you. Occasionally we do have these technical difficulties, and in Michael's defense, he is just getting settled in up there and hasn't had a whole lot of time to spend on fine tuning everything. So he'll get there. We'll give him a little bit of a leeway right now, but anyway,
I've been too busy going to places like Homer and Exit Glacier.
Yes, I saw the Exit Glacier video. That looked great. That looks like a great place.
Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, so absolutely. Cool. So, okay, tell me the name of your camper again, because I just somehow or another can screw up the name when I try to say it.
Oh, you can say it either way. A lot of people say Yuccapac. It's a Yuccapac or a Yuccapacamper.
I was saying
it both. It's actually pronounced Yuccapac, but I spent the first 18 weeks of saying my own company's product wrong, so I was kind of pot committed at that point.
So, now, speaking of which, it's an unusual name. So, how did you come up with such and by the way, Dave, I'm Michael. It's nice to meet you. Hey,
Mike. We've been chatting on Instagram for the last year or so. That's good to finally meet you, man.
Right on. So, yeah, how did you come up with that name?
Okay, Yuccapac. You guys are familiar with the Boy Scouts, eh?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So that backpack, that classic Boy Scout bag with the pouch that flips over and the two pouches on the side, and the other pouch, that's called a Yuccapac.
Oh, okay.
And since the camper itself was kind of like is basically a backpack, it's a backpack for a pickup truck. We thought that was kind of an appropriate title.
Well, now I like
And
it.
it was actually my business partner's wife that kind of came up with it, because we had gone through the whole rigmarole, right, of trying to figure out what we were going to call this thing. And ultimately we settled on, we were going through, like, European names and things that sounded adventure-y, I guess, so to speak. And we really couldn't find anything. So eventually we did find one, and it was the Yuccapack, and it was a style of backpack. And yeah, my business partner's wife kind of threw it out there, and I really like the old flip packs. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a flip pack. It's like a fiberglass camper. They have a cult following. They're amazing. They were only made for a limited time, unfortunately. But they're great. And I thought flip pack, that's kind of a cool name too. Yuccapack. And yeah, we kind of got sold on it.
I like that. And you've got a background before the camper. You were building trailers, correct?
Yeah, I was manufacturing the Mission Overland trailer out of the same town here. The original founder of Off-Grid Trailers, Mark Badgerow, had taken some time off after he left that company and traveled quite a bit, and ended up coming back after that season of traveling, and after some time got back into the trailer game. I happened to have gone to I went through a layoff, and instead of staying in the same industry, I kind of tried to merge the two things I've always been consistently super passionate about, and that's outdoors, hiking, backpacking, all of it. And cars, automobilia. I've been a car hound for as long as I can remember. The first car I built when I was 12, and it was a 1979 Datsun 280ZX. So the old S130 is it's people are sleeping on the S130.
Michael loves that.
My mom had a 240 whenever I was little.
No way, a 240Z. Oh, that's sexy.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a dope car. That's the dream car, man. That's what I'm.
Yeah,
I gotta sell like 1,500 Yuccapacks, and then I can buy a 240.
They've gone way price.
Yeah,
for
way up. Yeah, they're out of control. I'm still trying to figure. If you guys are wondering what's going on with my eyes, I'm still working with this new studio setup. We've actually just moved into a new facility here, and everything's different now. So I actually have like a little studio set up in here, and when I'm talking to you, I feel like I want to talk at the camera because I'm a vlogger, and this feels natural. But then my eyes come over here to talk to you guys because you're on the screen. And so if you see me, I'm not having a stroke. I am just trying to be polite and
hey,
look
just
in the eye when I talk to you.
Just real quick, there's a 1972 Datsun 240Z 5-speed with the L28.
Oh, no way.
The bid is currently $40,000 and it has 19 hours left.
Is that the EFI L28 or the carbureted?
It doesn't. I'm sure that's probably buried in all this text, but there's also a 72 240Z BRE Tribute with the 3.1 stroker.
Oh, that's more my style.
What?
Yeah, it's all done up in racing and has numbers on the door, sick. And yeah, it's pretty sick. So
that's sick. The last one I had was just a stock L28 82 S130.
Yeah.
And Buddy couldn't get it running. I think I picked it up for $700 because he was just done with it. And I had built a couple of these already, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, man, they're kind of finicky. You're not gonna get, you should just sell it. $700. That's a good deal. I'm gonna come get it.
Like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I picked it up and slammed it. I just cut the springs on her and took out everything that might have been heavy, and I just sent it sideways around most corners in my hometown for a bit.
Oh, sweet. Oh, geez. All right. So you've been with you worked with Back to the Other before we went down the rabbit hole. Yeah, you were with Mission.
Yeah. I was with Mission. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they launched. I started working with them, and that was a super awesome experience. And shout out to Mark and Marie. They're some pretty cool cats, those two. And eventually what happened is we built that company up to such a point where we were struggling to meet demand with the facilities that we were operating in out of Lacombe. And Mark was looking for a manufacturer in the space that would allow him to scale up at a reasonable pace, as well as maintaining some of the consistent changes and innovations that you try to make when you're building a high-end product like that. And so he found a manufacturer who could help with that in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which it's a very quaint and nice place, I'm sure, but was not my experience while I was there.
That was
That's
a little
fun.
political. That was political, but that's okay. I love
Yeah,
it.
you know, well, I'm a Canadian at heart, and I've got some love in my heart for every province, but some are better. That's just. Or
Well,
some
yeah, I mean, we have that here too. There's some states, man, they suck. Oklahoma's
Yeah,
one
so-
of them.
I think in the States, what do you guys call them? Are you guys in the States down there? You're in the States, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I am. Michael's in Alaska. I'm in Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah, Michael, I knew you were in Alaska.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I think you guys call them flyover states in the United States. We kind of have flyover cities here. And I love this country, but I don't love all the cities in it. And so I wasn't going to live somewhere that I didn't want to live in. And my heart lives in the mountains. I think that was the main thing, is the West out here is so wild, and I think I feel a little wild, and it just feels more like home to me. So
you didn't follow him, did you?
No. I mean, I did. I do want to say, like, I went out there and I helped them with the transition, and I trained the staff on the design process, and and as best as I could. But this is where it gets kind of tricky, because we had launched this new company and we were building this prototype camper. Meanwhile, I'm actually in Winnipeg trying to get the designs done and ready to be built, so that as soon as I get back, it's back to work as usual, right? No change. It's just work, and then just switch to a different product. So I did that, and eventually kind of ran into this thing where it was like, we didn't have a place to launch this. And restrictions up here were just getting lifted now, and outdoor events were kind of allowed, and nobody else was really risking it. Nobody wanted to do anything. Nobody wanted to step out of line and do something for people who had been stuck inside for a long time. And now they were allowed to be out, and everyone was kind of just like, can we not? And so we kind of just we put it out there. We got our insurances and got all of our paperwork done, and we launched this big event so that we could launch this product at it. And so that's how the AOA Expo was born as well. That's the Alberta Outdoor Adventure Expo. Nice. So I'm trying to plan all of this while I'm in Manitoba, going through this merger type thing while doing this expo stuff, while also supposed to have a brand new camper to launch in this expo that's in like 2.5 months that I haven't started building yet. And I only have just finished the design for. So I still have all this to do. Long story short, we did make it. We built the prototype. We threw it on the truck. We launched it at the expo, and we actually made our first sale at that show.
Wow.
And ever since then, we've kind of just been riding this consistent roller coaster of insanity. And
that's awesome.
It's been really fun. Yeah, it's been really fun.
Damn.
Yeah.
And Michael, they make one for your Nissan too.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I was about to say, Dave, since he was into the Datsuns, have you just always been a Nissan person?
Yeah, that's kind of how it's been, actually, is the Datsun kind of kicked it off for me. I got really familiar with their part numberings too. Like when I was in high school, I apprenticed as a mechanic, and I was an apprentice mechanic up until even after I came back from college, I was an apprentice mechanic. So I've been pulling wrenches since I was 12 to today. And so I had worked for Ford, I had worked for Mazda, and so when I was ordering my own parts, I kind of knew what to expect. You know what I mean? And I knew some things that were cross compatible between the models, and it made it easy to stick with Nissan. And to be fair, let's just call a spade here. pound for pound, this is gonna get me in trouble. Pound for pound, dollar for dollar, the Nissan Frontier is more truck than almost anything out there. With the honestly, with the exception to almost anything out there, it was economically priced. It's high horsepower for what it is, high torque for what it is, and the gizmos. Nissan has consistently put out these trend-setting things like descent control and these unique capabilities out of their product. And I just like I am a Nissan guy. I like it. I like the Datsun. It's a good product.
And a lot of gas mileage out of the newer ones.
I'd like to see that. Yeah, I haven't heard from anybody that has one yet. If it's been that much better, I can't imagine it's that much better. It's a high-powered V6 truck. You know,
Lee, what are you getting in gas mileage?
About 22, 23. If I stay out of it, I can push 23 and a half.
That's miles per gallon.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not going to even try to do that conversion in my brain.
Yeah. I have the 23 Frontier.
Oh, you do? Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
You should buy a Yuccapac.
Well, I have an Yuccap already.
Cool.
Sorry,
that's a totally
sorry.
That's a totally fair camper to have.
I took it off my ZR2 Colorado. I had the diesel.
Cool.
And I took it off that. And so.
And did you have to do? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you have to do the conversion for the barn door kit, or did that bolt straight across?
So there is a fit kit for each truck, each style. Right. And I'm still waiting on Yuccap to finish theirs.
Okay.
The reason I bought the truck was they put a teaser video out saying that they were going, and they had a prototype. And so Lee got a little excited, went, new truck, bought it. And here I am, Michael, 4 months waiting on a fit kit still. I haven't had my Yuccap in 4 months.
Yeah.
That's
so,
rough.
You know, if it doesn't happen soon, then you never know. You may get a call from me.
Hey, 8 to 10 week lead times. We can get you in right away.
At this point, you know, hey.
I'm just bugging me. I'm just bugging.
But
Yuccap's a great product.
You know, I think all Michael and I have had this discussion, and in total fairness to everybody here, I've never seen your camper in person, so I can't put up, you know, any kind of judgment on it. It looks very nice. It looks like it's well thought out and well built. But Michael and I have had this conversation is, yeah, I like the Yuccap. I like it a lot, but it's a lot of money. And then you go to something like a Go Fast, and I don't like a Go Fast at all. I like sorta, but I don't like the material. So I wouldn't buy one. And nothing against them. I think they do a good job, but Michael knows my place on that one. I wouldn't buy it because I don't like that thin, flimsy material.
Mm-hmm. I seem to the way I look at the variations out there, I think the best way I think to look at it was this is there's a whole variety of different styles of camping that are kind of out there, and specifically like the adventure campers out there that travel long distances, et cetera, and everybody's values on what they need out of their build and out of their rig and out of the experience in general is such a different thing for everybody. Yuccap fits a very specific niche. Go Fast fits a very specific niche. Yeah. And within that niche, it's actually quite a large population of people. So there's room for kind of everybody to exist for the most part. Yeah. Up here in Canada, you know, we're the only manufacturer. I don't know if we are anymore. It's hard to say because things are changing. Things are just super fluid as like on the daily. When it comes to this market in general, you know, companies are alive, then they're not, then there's a new one, then there's not. So it's hard to know who's playing in the game right now, but we were the first to actually launch a product to the market in Canada that's 100% made here, which means like we order the material that we order, I'm sure probably comes from China, but it's formed here, it's welded here, it's coated here, it's assembled here, it's designed here. Everywhere that it could possibly be made in Canada, it's made here, which is kind of weird because Canada isn't known for its manufacturing. And Lee, you were saying that like these things are expensive, and they are expensive, and the margin in which you can operate as a business, depending on the cost of manufacturing and where you're building these things, plays a large role in that price as well, right? If you want things made in America, you got to pay made in America prices.
Yep.
And they're not made in China prices. And you kind of sort of have to be okay with that because you're getting quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Well, I wanna say something, if you guys can hear me, about the expense. So I started looking into it, and for the price of a good rack and a wedge style tent, you're already at $5 to $6 grand already.
Yeah.
So then you don't have the security that you have with the rack. And if you were to go to a camper, like a camper shell, and then put a wedge style tent, you're looking at probably like $3 grand for the camper alone.
Yeah.
And that, I don't even know if that's one weighted enough to put the weight on of the rooftop tent. So I don't know where they start whenever they have the weight restrictions on them. But then the rooftop tent, you're looking at easy $8 grand.
Oh yeah.
Right there. And you're not even getting what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what it is. When, a lot of our customers up here, for one, that's how they start their shopping journey. They see these rooftop tents floating around and they're like, "Oh man, I really want one of those. That would look really good on a canopy." So then they start looking for a canopy, and, up here, the price of even just a truck canopy, let alone a rack, like if you actually want to close that space in, you look at a brand new Lear canopy, that's $6 grand, and that's affordably $6 grand. And then you've got the $6,000 to $8,000 rooftop tent on top of that. You're already at the same price, and you haven't gotten any of the storage yet. You haven't gotten,
and you can't stand
up to get dressed. Yeah, you can't stand up to get dressed, and you can do that for cheaper, because after you've gotten your rooftop tent then you got to get the drawer system. And then you got to fill that drawer system with packable contents and little diffie bags. Where the Yuccapack really, really shines is the fact that there's storage built into it. It's I can't remember who I was talking to this to about recently, but when I was doing my research, I really wanted to go fast. I wanted one of these campers. They fit my lifestyle. They fit how I wheel, and they fit how I camp. So it made sense for me to want that style of camper. So I looked at everybody. And as a consumer, it was just like none of these really hit it. The Alucab was the closest for me that hit my want points, but I still had to add several $1,000s to get even the basic level of storage as a drawer or as any sort of integrated storage. And so it just didn't work. Like I didn't want to be out that much. I wanted something that I could just honestly just buy, have the basic stuff in there, so that my camping gear stays in the camper, but my truck also stays a truck. And that was a tall ask. I think I nailed it. And I think other people obviously think I nailed it too, but that's kind of where the Yuccapack sits. It's as if you're looking for a camper that's still a canopy, you can still use your truck, but is really a camper, that would be the way. Because all the comment sections when I was doing my research, all the comments were like, "It's just a canopy with a tent on it. It's just a canopy with a tent on it." And I thought, okay, if I'm going to call myself a camper, I better not just be a canopy with a tent on it.
Yeah.
And we are that, but we're so much more.
Yeah. I was looking at your pictures and noticing one of the things I can tell different between yours and say a Go Fast is take a look at, for those of you listening or watching this, even in the future, go look at the website and look at how thick like the walls are on your doors and your side compartments and everything, and look at them. They have to be heavily insulated, or at least I'm going to guess they are, because they're thick. They're not like just bare metal, and nothing gets Go Fast. I'm not trying to knock them. Even Alucab's the same way. It's just sheet metal. But it looks like you have a little bit more.
And that's where, so in our campers, a base model will be that. It'll be basically a shell. It won't be any different than what everybody else is creating out there in the sense of what you have for covering your walls. But it's 1/8 of an inch thick.
Right.
So we're not talking a 16th here. We're not talking flimsy aluminum. And I mean, we are talking flimsy aluminum technically, but we form every piece. So we don't weld a structure together and then skin it.
Yeah.
Every piece is actually formed and broke. So what we end up having is a box inside of a box inside of a box. So it's
Right.
extremely strong. And because of that, we don't have an internal frame. So we've got lots of places to run wiring. You've got an infinite amount of places to add moly panels to, and the camper comes with moly panels. If you want to add an insulation kit, you can go with the insulation kit, and it gets you. I mean, we haven't actually done an R rating system on it yet, but I mean, we're talking an inch of insulation on your walls, up to an inch and a half in some places. I don't know any other camper in this space that can offer that kind of R value.
Well, I'm looking at your website.
So which one? Which one's Michael?
I may need an insulated camper. This one. I plan on going out when the snow hits.
Oh yeah, you are in Alaska. You might need a full seasoner, bud. And it's a shorter drive for you to come here than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. You're on my radar.
Hey man.
Well, I'm looking at your website, and there's a black Toyota that you guys put the camper on, and inside it's got this gray material that looks very nice finised out. Did you do that?
That's our insulation kit. Yeah. So my business partner
looks
Tyler,
amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, we do some really nice work. The insulation kit is really an entire I think of it as wallpaper for the inside of a camper. It gives it a wall, like a nice soft touch surface. And kind of takes the industriousness out of the camper. Like it's not as industrial when you have the insulation kit. So the insulation kit doesn't just offer you insulation; it offers that. And if you're the type of person that's going to live in that hab space, and you're trying to create a habitat space, the insulation kit's for you. If you're more of a garage, a mountain biker, a backpacker, a rock climber, and you're looking for something to steer to keep your gear in, the insulation kit might not be what's going to serve you best. And there's two different theories on that altogether, right? Depending on how you're going to use your camper. Again, going back to the earlier conversation where someone who doesn't need all that comfort might do well with a go fast style camper. Someone who wants the option though, to trick it out and make it like a really good touring camper. They also have the ability to do that. So it kind of fits really well in that. You can really make it whatever you want. I know everybody says that, but like with a Yuccapac, you could really make it however you want to make it.
Well, I don't know what type of material that is, but it looks fantastic in the picture. It looks very aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't look too bougie, as they like to say.
Thank you. Yeah.
But it looks very, I guess, useful. And you got the moly panels with it, so that looks really good.
And that's standard. Like the moly panels come standard. You get a light inside and in the top. That's all standard.
It looks really neat. Michael, you got to look at I don't know. You probably have already seen the picture, but
I've watched videos. I've seen the pictures. I've cruised all. I've stalked it. Now, what I don't remember, if one of them did have it, do you have plans or do you have a place picked out for like a propane heater? Like the marine propane heater or a diesel heater?
Yes. So there's the Yuccapac kind of lets you go multiple ways, sort of depending on what you have for a carrying truck. Anything with a short box, so that's like the 5-foot box, you actually have, because our doors are relatively large, you have little wall space available to you, especially if you go with an insulation kit, because that cabinet takes up the first 12 inches of the camper on the front end. Okay, so that doesn't give you any wall space there. On the outside, it does. It lets you hang a propane bottle tank and anything else you want on that side. But as far as running that stuff inside, you can choose to run it through the cabinet. You can install a diesel heater and duct it wherever you want. You could even duct it into the top if you want. That's something that we're going to look at this fall as winter starts coming down for us. And I do camp year round. I camp as low as minus 35. So if you guys are ever looking for tips on how to camp cold, I got you. But as far as like a propane heater or like a Propex or even a Buddy or an Amazon diesel or something even like a Webasto, you can wire all of these into your camper cabinet. So the way when you get your camper, your cabinet's completely empty unless you go with like a power management system. So you'll have some wiring in there already. But you can install a diesel heater, everything into that cabinet if you desire. It'll take away storage, but you can do that. The other way is to build a platform system. Like we have a fart system in our unit, and that kind of gives us the ability to run a diesel heater and duct it into the space. But really, in my experience, the best way to run any sort of heater in a camper is you're going to want that heat overnight, and you're going to want it while you're sleeping. And there's a lot of people that try to heat up the airspace around them, and that requires a ton of energy, especially to do it for a consistent amount of time. What I found is that if you just take your diesel heater or your buddy heater, any kind of heater, keep it in the habitat space with your bed panels closed, that heat will actually radiate up through the bed into your body and keep your body warm. Your nose might get cold, but it'll keep your body warm, which means like your -5 sleeping bag is now an insulated barrier, and you're basically having a heated mattress without having to consume any electricity. That's the move. Anybody that has any sort of camper, I'm telling you right now from experience, that's the move.
Gotcha.
I dig it.
Yeah, I think it would work with almost anything because I know GoFast has like the honeycomb board for their bed panels, and Snap Outfitters has the raised top. The Alucab also has the raised top, right? Like the bed actually pivots up on a gas strut, I think.
Yep. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I know Super Pacific also runs the panel system. We run a panel system as well, except our mattresses are fully enclosed. So you get like 2 bed panels.
Okay.
And the bed panels are actually made out of Baltic birch. So they're actually made out of wood, and then there's holes drilled into them to make them lighter and to allow them to breathe. And then they're cut at an angle. So you get a thick panel and a skinny panel. And the idea there is that within any sort of partner or couple, you're going to have a short person and a tall person generally. And if you're not using a ladder to get down, sometimes it can be a little cumbersome getting up and down if you're getting up and down from inside the tent, because you have to wake up the partner and the partner has to move, and then you have to go pee and then you have to come back up. If you don't have a ladder, if you have a ladder, that solves a lot of problems. But this way you can arrange your bed in such a way that you can lift the skinny panel and the tall. If you're the short person and you have to wake up the tall person to go to the bathroom, you can lift up that panel without having to move the tall person because they have a longer panel on the one side and you're on the shorter side. That's the concept. Our customers, it's literally split 50-50 down the center. Some people use their camper space as a habitat space, and other people use it as a garage or a gear locker.
Gotcha.
I like the window in the back too, by the way.
Say that again.
I like the window in the back.
Yeah.
I like that. The Alucab doesn't have it. I don't think the GoFast has that either. They have one on the side, maybe.
Yeah, I know Super Pacific for sure does have the window in the back.
Yeah,
but I
kind of
can't
like that.
I don't think the GoFast does. No.
Yeah.
Michael, you have your hand raised.
So I have a question. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, I'll proceed with my question.
Yeah, go nuts, man.
Okay, good. Okay, so Lee and I have been wondering, and you probably have said this 100,000 times, where does Blind Man come from?
The name.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, because that's a good question. It's really simple. I was born and raised in the Blind Man River Valley, and that's where I'm from. I live here. I'm literally in the Blind Man Industrial Park right now, and I'm drinking Blind Man Brewery beer. And you're talking to David, the owner of Blind Man Overland.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
We didn't know if like once you were blind and now you see, like we didn't
know.
A
lot of people think it's the glasses, and it's not. No, and I'm not blind. It's not quoting scripture. I would have chosen a much cooler scripture to use. Yeah, no, it's just where I fish.
And here's another thing. I love your videos, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
You tell a great story. The cinematography is really good. How long have you been doing? Because I'm just now getting into the last, several months. How long have you been doing the videos? And also, what kind of got you started in wanting to go out and create content?
Oh, good question. I swear to God, I'm super prepared for this interview actually, because I just made a video that I was going to put on my YouTube of like the kind of the story of like where this kind of all came from. So I've already.
Oh, we can give tease. Let's tease it.
I didn't post it, so you guys get first dibs, obviously. Anyway, so Michael, sorry, just repeat your question one more time for me.
It was two things. How long have you been doing the videos?
Right.
And what
and
got
why?
you motivated to create them?
Right. Okay. So I've been doing videos on YouTube, I think now for 4 years. If you go like way back, you'll actually see the Datsun I was talking about today, where I chopped the springs and slammed it. Those are my first 2 videos on YouTube. I had a house at one point with a shed and a Datsun, and the YouTube channel was going to be called the Zed Shed. And I was just going to rebuild old Zed cars because that's what I had been doing this whole time without YouTube, and other cars, hot rods and whatnot. I'm a serial hot rodder, I guess, at heart. And that was going to be the whole plan. So if you go back, it's all YouTube. The first 2 are Datsun videos. And then I was driving a Nissan Micra, and I decided that my car wasn't getting me into where I usually go camping. So I needed a truck again. I had a company truck for years, so I didn't have to worry about it, right? And since leaving that and starting my own thing, I had to give the company truck back. So I was taking my car out. I needed a new truck. Obviously, I had a Nissan Micra. Before that, I had a Nissan Titan. And I might have owned almost every Nissan, actually, iteration I've made. And I bought a Frontier. I took a while to find it, and I thought, well, this would be kind of cool to post like YouTube videos of my camp spots and kind of, go through that. When I was really young, in my like 23, I would say, I had a company called Twisted Image Productions. So I've always been interested in cinematography and film.
Nice.
The original company was designed to help promote local musicians doing street style documentaries and then posting them up on YouTube back before this YouTube thing really blew up. And that company ended up, I was young and stupid and probably on drugs. So it failed. And
I think hold on. I think we might be related. We might.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah. I don't know if my mom and dad were that promiscuous, but we all lie.
Oh man.
Anyway, so yeah, I started throwing these videos up on YouTube, and it was always a nice creative outlet for me. It was something else for me to do out there, like if the fishing was bad, or I had a bad hike or a bad climb. I thought that it would be this thing where I could just go back and be like, well, that sucked, and make this kind of creative, turn it around, right? Have another reason to be out there. And then I think like 12 people started watching, and I thought, frick, that's a lot of people to just want to watch some retard on the internet. Can I say it? I probably can't say that. That's it. I'm canceled. That's how it's nice knowing you guys. I really appreciated my time here as a content creator. And
shit, dude, you should hear some of the things that go on in this thing. Go back and listen to some of our old episodes. I use the word.
It's not tomorrow I'm worried about. It's 37 years from now when I'm retired and relying on the government to pay my bills.
Well, as long as you ain't got that idiot Trudeau running your country like we have our idiot.
I don't know who elected that guy in, but I don't think it was Canada.
I think he probably sucked his way in somehow or another. But anyway,
something happened, man. He is an untrustworthy individual. Anyway.
So I've been obviously you were surprised. You were surprised.
Yeah. The lost years that we've all had under COVID kind of kept me going out there a lot more, right? And then I started
Yeah.
posting a lot more because I had a lot more time, and 100 people would watch it. I thought that was absolutely nuts. And I had this thought. I was like, someone might say that you only got 100 views on that video, but if there were 100 people sitting in this room right now, super interested in what you were doing, you'd feel pretty special. You'd feel pretty important. And I felt pretty good. I thought, heck, that's cool. And then some of my friends watched it and they thought it was cool. And then I got regular people commenting and they thought it was cool. And this thing started to grow inside of it, whereas like people just wanted to hang out. And
yeah,
I met some incredible people from YouTube. I think the majority of people for sure that I hang out with consistently, like my circle is small. But most of them are real relationships that have actually come from social media. So I used to be the type of person that would just hate on social media until I realized it's social media. You have to be social. If you're just getting your clicks and your hate grind going on, just, what am I going to be pissed off about today? If that's all you're going on there for, then that's all you're going to get out of it. And I just decided to switch it up a little bit.
Well, you got some cool
So
content.
That's why I started making videos, and that's how long I've been doing it. Man, I just ramble. Sorry, guys.
No, we love it. We love it. No, I think I like his. I'm like Michael. I like the cinematography. I like the way you you kind of present the story. So what?
Well, I try. Yeah, I try. It's an adventure, right? Like the whole point of it is the adventure. Like the whole concept is, hey, I'm gonna go out here and see what the hell happens. And if we get fucked, then we get fucked. Like,
well, dipshit over here, he moves to Alaska, and now all he does is post shit every day of somewhere he's doing something, going somewhere. And I'm like,
every week you see him, his beard's gonna be a little bit longer and a little bit longer, and then eventually there'll just be small pine cones sticking out of it, and he'll be coming to you live from some stump of a tree.
Yeah. I don't think it's good. I don't
feel you, Michael. I think we might be related.
That's funny.
Yeah. Those things are kind of aligning up in a weird way. It's getting a little
Michael Gonzalez is like, I'm not real sure, but did Michael move to Alaska? Yeah, he did. And he's posting about it every day because he's a jerk. But anyway, no. So are you an iPhone guy that just holds your iPhone and does your videos, or do you use
for so long? Yeah, actually, like, man, I don't got time for this shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm busy, man. Like, I'm busy, and I want to tell a story. And I've had the expensive cameras. I've had them. I had a production company. I have all the gear. I had it for a long time. I ended up selling it, but I did have it for a long time. And I just find it so, like, I'm not in it. How do you explain this? I really want to create a high quality video. That's why I only post adventure videos. It's one of the things I actually struggle with as a content creator. I don't think there's any value in gear review videos, although that's what everybody seems to want to watch. So if it's going to be a gear review video, there's got to be something in it. So because of that reason, I don't post as often, right? Sometimes I'll go 30 days without posting a video, and I don't like doing that. I don't. But it's not my primary focus, right? Like, it's not my, so I'm not a YouTuber for the sake of being a YouTuber. I'm not trying to monetize my channel to make money from ads. I'm trying
you're making money. You're making money selling campers.
That's right. That's right. So I'm using YouTube as a marketing tool now.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense to make that transition after you start a business.
Yeah,
but
I get it.
Now that's the primary focus of the channel, it makes me feel a little sad because it means the creative aspect it makes it feel like the creative aspect is a little less. I don't think it is a little less. I'm still doing the same thing and I'm still getting the same reward. I think that's just a problem in my thinking.
I think the iPhone makes it more about the adventure. Mm-hmm. And then when you start having too much gear, then it's a process.
Well, and you actually you end up changing the dynamic of the video, right? Because something crazy is happening and you're the guy that's like, hold up, wait, everybody stop.
Yeah.
I need to get my camera. I need to set my lens. I don't want to change the.
It's not spontaneous.
It's not. Yeah, it's not authentic. You know, it's
you're not getting your 3 lights out, sitting some stands up.
Yep.
You know, you don't have time for that.
No, I don't have time for it. There are times where I will go out and like I want specific shots, like I want to get this shot, or I want this kind of shot, or when I had my drone before my truck got broken into. That's why I don't like Winnipeg, by the way. In case anybody's wondering, like, what the hell is this guy's deal with? Why do you not like Manitoba? I have been to Winnipeg once in my life, and the very first night I was there, I had almost everything I owned stolen from me. So zip it. I just, I don't know. I like being able to just grab the authentic thing that's happening. And I just happen to always have my phone with me. It's really quick to turn on the camera and it's really easy to do. So the majority of my videos are done using my phone. Some are made with a drone. Some have my SLR. Like I have an SLR now. I've recently started using GoPro a little bit more because I'm using my phone for a lot more like navigation and stuff like that. So phone. If you have a YouTube channel and you're like, man, I don't have a camera, I don't have fans, you don't need it. I've been doing this for 4 years and I mostly use my phone.
The takeaway is don't go to Winnipeg and leave your trucks where you can get jacked.
Right, that and use your phone.
I can honestly say, I haven't been to Winnipeg, but I've been to a lot of other parts of Canada. Toronto has some of the best strip clubs I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, you got to go to Montreal.
Oh, you got to go better in Montreal.
Oh, yeah. Everything's better in Montreal.
Oh my gosh.
Montreal is Canada's culture. Oh man, I'm doing the cancel thing like all the time.
Oh,
listen, like French Canadian. I'm biased. Bias warning. I'm French Canadian. It's just it's classy. It's cool. It's great. I mean, you can have naked breakfasts too if you want them.
Dude, I'm telling you, that was one of the most epic trips. Now you got me questioning. I need to go back and look. Was it Toronto or Montreal?
Hey, Montreal's beautiful, man. The food.
They're not too far from each other, right? Let's see.
God, no, they might be only 2 hours away.
Yeah, maybe it was. All I remember is we flew in. We met some international truck guys that build trucks in Canada, and we had a surprise.
Oh, I don't doubt it, man.
Whew.
Canadian hospitality at its finest. I'm telling you, there ain't nothing like it.
That was pretty fun.
I bet it was.
I ain't gonna lie.
I bet it was.
But,
it's good. I'm glad we're being represented appropriately. The Canadians are kind, but listen, we know how to get down. Come on.
I think out of all the times I've been to Canada, I've never had
a bad time, huh?
No.
We'll make sure that stays. Don't worry. That'll be consistent.
But that was long before that jackass you have in office right now too. So
he's not one of ours. He belongs to he came in somewhere and we're not too sure. But Cuba seems to be sending us a lot of text messages lately. So maybe
that's all right. We got no room to talk about this thing we got in the office. So anyway,
listen, we're all a little up a creek without a certain paddle right now.
Yeah.
I think anybody that's paying attention to anything that's going on is like, yo, when are we in a movie? Like this is the Truman Show.
This is a bad dream. Can somebody pinch me and wake me up because I feel like I'm in a bad dream?
This ain't happening. Yeah.
And then Michael take.
It's crazy because it's not just here. It's like all over.
It's everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Hey, man, there's no such thing as this big cabal. There's no great power. That's okay."
And then Michael takes off and goes to Alaska. He's going to turn out to be a prepper. He's probably going to end up somewhere on a mountainside somewhere with that big long beard and the pine cone thing.
Does anybody turn out to be a prepper, or do they just keep it quiet in their cupboard and then one day they move to Alaska?
The real prepper, you'd never know because they're not going to tell you.
It's true because you're not going to tell them.
Nope.
Yeah, you're not going to tell, and nor should you. Like, I got a kick out of YouTube preppers. I'm not too sure that makes any sense.
Come get my stuff. I'm here with all the stuff. Come get it.
Yeah. Let me go through your shopping cart 6 months before you have to use the checkout
Yeah.
Just check my YouTube. You'll see everything I have. I mean, I'm no different, I guess. If everyone knows where to go if they need a bug out truck.
Oh gosh, that's too funny. All right, well, we just about made it an hour, and so Michael, you got any final questions for David?
I guess my question would be like, what's lead time, and do you ship to Alaska?
Sure, let's rapid fire this. Do I ship to Alaska? Not yet. I'll throw it on a trailer and I'll do it in your driveway, though. Don't worry about it. I got you. Lead times right now are 8 to 10 weeks. The Yuccapac camper is also available in America right now through 10X Campers and Gear. That's in Colorado. If you are in any of the surrounding states around Colorado, that's also going to be your point of reference. So any of the border states to Colorado, 10X Campers and Gear is going to be where you want to go if you want to get in more information. Otherwise, you can reach out to us at blindmanoverland.com.
I think Chad needs to carry these. What do you think, Michael?
Totally. Chad's
He's in Missouri.
Chad in Missouri definitely needs to carry these. I was just saying that before this podcast started. I said, great thing. It's weird.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is Michael and I have this thing where we all have our buddies and our friends and people that we know, whatever. But not everybody's got a Chad, and we have a Chad.
Man,
and Chad is dapper. Like Chad's got the perfect hair, the perfect beard.
Good.
His wife makes
swag going on.
And his wife makes the freaking best bourbon pecan pies in the world. So, everybody needs a Chad. We just happen to have what we think is probably the best Chad.
Best Chad.
Well, I don't have a Chad. So if you guys are looking to share a Chad, maybe there's an app we can develop that could get everybody their own Chad. Chad chat?
We need a shirt. We need a shirt, and everybody needs a Chad. But that Chad, a skin, like
just steal got milk and just go got Chad.
Yeah, got
Chad.
Then put his phone number on the back and don't tell him.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Chad, he's probably listening. So Chad, if you're listening to this, and he's at Overland Attic, but just for reference, you need to get a hold of David because I think you should carry these.
Chad, I feel like we're friends on Instagram. That's the ice broken, my friend.
All right, guys. So we are at the end of the show. So we're going to wrap this up. And this is where I say, Dave, thanks for coming on. And I've been following you for a while. I think your camper is right on. And not only because it fits a Nissan, but that is a big deal.
It is. Yeah. Thanks, man. Listen, I really appreciate this. It's I felt like we got on really well, and it's not every day that you can kind of jump on a podcast and relax and hang out with some like-minded people. That's what I love about it. That's why we do this, right? That's why you guys started a podcast. That's why we started Expo. That's why we build campers. It's because we just want to spend more time outside. My whole thing here, guys, I don't know if you Michael might know because he watches some of my videos, but the whole thing here, anybody that's watching this, if you're trying to get something out of this, there's something that I say at the end of every video, and it's live free and be wild. Whatever that might look like for you, just be a little wild, be crazy, take risks, do something nuts. And by all means and by all measures, live free.
Right on.
We kind of do the same thing here, and we're going to end the show. And the way we end the show is everybody out there, go all over.